Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Stories by Tim. Um, Please like, subscribe, hit that little alarm bell. As they say on another channel that I watch, ring that bell so you can get alerts as to when I do updates. And thank you for tuning in. There have been a lot of things in my life that I have volunteered for. Um, the first, I mean, And we're not even going to talk about community theater because that is also volunteering. Um, I'll talk about all those rules another time. Well, actually, I've talked about a couple of them. Um, but volunteering is a major disruption to your life. You have to set aside time for whatever organization you're volunteering for. It's not always easy. You do actually have to set aside that time. You don't get to spend time with your family. You don't get to do work around the house. You have to, you know, do the job that you volunteered for. First one that I did was not long. No, it was long after high school because it was right before I got married. So 97. Um, I was asked to be financial secretary for my church. Not a hard job. I had to go to meetings, but basically, what my job was to record offerings that were given to the church, and our members are given numbered envelopes, and I had to record all of that and then give them a statement at the end of the year so they could write that off on their taxes. Easy job. Not hard. Not hard. The next thing I volunteered for, I became a member of the Saginaw Bowling Association's board. Just, an average board member. And my first job, I set up their original website. It's evolved since then, obviously, but I was the one that set up the initial board for that. They gave me a nice stipend for that. With that, I was able to buy my first, or actually, I still own it, home theater system. But to be the one that originated that when you're a volunteer, that was amazing. I have some amazing memories of my time with that board, from the time that I spent helping out with tournaments to co-chairing and then chairing the golf outing, which we raised money for scholarships. Uh, yeah, there's a lot of memories there, a lot of memories, and it wasn't until, I started there in '02, and I want to say it wasn't until Caitlin was born in '08 that I resigned my position, that I did not want to continue any longer. So we're talking, what, 6 years? 6 years of my life that I devoted to Saginaw bowling. Speaking of which, Saginaw bowling lost a landmark a couple of days ago. Candlelight bowling burnt down to the ground. I have memories from there as well. From coaching to volunteering there for tournaments to going there for banquets, for wedding receptions. The first time I ever went there was for a Christmas party. I was dating a girl from Frankenmuth that worked in the accounting department at Bronner's. I actually got to meet Wally Bronner. I shook his hand. Yeah, uh, uh, Wally Bronner, man. But, you know, I hate the place is gone. I do. I've hated that the place has been closed for as long as it has been, off and on over the past few years. That's been a landmark in Saginaw County for so long. And to know that it's no longer there really hurts. But, all right, let's get back to my volunteering. So, my kids bowled at state lanes, um, in youth league. And I was working at Sam's Club at the time. And initially, when I started bowling there, Elizabeth first, obviously, I could not have every Saturday off, so I missed matches. I missed seeing them bowl. Well, when I got promoted to the head of audit at Sam's Club, suddenly I'm working Monday through Friday. I have Saturdays off. So I'm there every Saturday. And a couple years go by with that, and all of a sudden, one of the people that run that league are like, why don't you become a certified coach? I'll think about it. I can't make this up. 4 days later, I get an email from USBC saying we have a coaching clinic coming up in Southfield, which is outside of Detroit. If you come to that, we'll pay for your certification. You can't make this stuff up. You can't. So, of course, I went down, did the class, took the test, got certified, paid for by USBC. Had I not stopped bowling because of theater, if I would still be sanctioned, I would still be an actual certified coach. Because I'm not sanctioned, I'm not actually a certified coach, even though I can still coach. But yeah, I did that for several years. And then, of course, I got asked to fill in for a weekend, supposedly, to be the coach of the Swan Valley girls team, or boys team, I should say. And then the Swan Valley's girls coach had to have surgery. So instead of coaching the boys for one weekend, I filled in for the girls for the rest of the season, which I did for the next 2 years as well. I co-coached with a wonderful man, Dallas. God rest his soul. He was amazing. we had a good repertoire between the two of us. Unfortunately, he passed unexpectedly. Uh, his casket, I will never forget his casket because it had his highest game and his highest series stenciled into the top of his casket, or into the inside of his casket. I love the girls I coached. We grew together. Um, they made me better. I hope I made them better. I don't know if I did or not, but I hope I did. Um, there was only really one time I had to use dad voice with them. Yeah, one time. And I know I've told this story before, so I won't go back into it again. But that was more a volunteer work for me. I served 1 year on the Swan Valley Little League um, board as well. Um, that was a crazy year of things. I wanted to end up coaching Little League. Never got a chance to. I could have passed a lot of knowledge on. Football's another one that um, I really wanted to coach. Um, I did kind of coach football when I was in college. We had an intramural flag football team that I was co-coach of, and I came up with plays and in that I always wanted to be an offensive coordinator, not a defensive coordinator. I always want to be offensive. I've got ideas here about how to do plays that I still think about to this day. And I have not played football in 30 years. 24, no, more than 30 years. I had to do math there for a second. Um, but no, that's one sport I would really love to coach. But no. So I served on bowling board, I served on a baseball board, I served on church council for 2 years as financial secretary. Uh, but then I got a phone call on a Thursday. Installation Sunday was 3 days later. I get a phone call. Hey, is there any way you'd consider being treasurer? I said, let me think about it for the night. I'll give you a call tomorrow. So, of course, I accepted. Gullible me. Not knowing what I was getting into. Truthfully, not knowing what I was getting into. So, 2 days later, I'm installed as church secretary or church treasurer. So I go over to the previous treasurer's house, get a rundown of how things work. Here's what you got. Here's the checks. Here's the computer. Here's, what you need to know. Thankfully, I had done the accounting department at Sam's Club, so I knew accounting wise all the different divisions that you need to worry about, how you need to break things down. You need to put this into this department, this into this department, this into this department. And it really gave me a jump start, knowing that going into this position. But during that time, I really looked at a lot of our financials. Um, we had a couple of CDs at a local bank that were earning very, very small interest amounts. We had, with our synod, um, which is Wisconsin Lutheran, um, we had a financial division there that had a much better interest rate than what we were getting locally. And by that, I mean, we're talking 5% more than what we were earning. So when those CDs came up, I transferred those over to the higher paying ones and set us up so that we had 3 CDs that were 1 year apart, that were 3-year CDs. So if we had a project that came up that we needed money for, we every year we could cash one of those in and get that financial backing that we needed. That was just one of the things that I kind of set up and did. I set the budget every year, 4 years in a row. I set the budget. I made this nice, very nice um, presentation every year. That we projected and showed them, here's what we spent last year, here's what I think we need to spend this year, here's the projects we got coming up, here's how we can fund them. It was, it was changing for them. And the president that I had for my 4 years that I was there became the treasurer after me, and I walked him through everything, and he has done an amazing job since. He's actually done even better with our money than what I did. So hats off to him. Hats off, Bill. But I kind of set the stepping stones for them to grow on. But, that once again, part of volunteering. And, that's just like, going into coaching the girls team for Swan Valley, which I know I've already talked about. I'm not going to go back into that. But once again, volunteering, giving back. Giving back to our community, to our society, that's a big thing for me. That's one of the reasons why I do community theater. It's giving back. You don't get paid for that, but you're providing something for your community. People don't always realize that. They pay money for their tickets when they come in. They don't realize that the people on stage are not getting paid for this. We're doing this because we love it, and because we love our community, and we love giving to you, providing entertainment for you. So, just been thinking about that a little bit because I'm about to audition for another show. 1984. Wow. What a dark story. But that is, one of the things I like to do. It's why I like doing retail. It's like why I like doing my job that I am now. I like to be out in front of the community. I like to give back to the community. I mean, even doing retail, even doing what I'm doing now at Jersey Mike's, I feel is giving back to the community. We're providing a service. We're not just, I hate to say, there's a few chains around the area that want you to order from the kiosk. We're never going to be there. We want to interact with you. We want to talk to you. And that's what I love about what I do now. 50% is about our food, 50% is about your experience. And that's what it boils down to. So, once again, thanks for tuning in for Stories by Tim. I'll have more later, obviously. You know me, I like to talk. So, like, subscribe, hit that alert button, ring the bell, and we'll see you next time.